Guys, what's up? It is Mike D, second form strength, here with another daily video. It is 10:50 at night. I was about to go have a shower. I was about to finish up for the night. Finish up another successful day, going after what I want. Then I realized, oh shit, I forgot my daily YouTube video. So here I am. As always, I haven't really got, anything set in my head, but this would be a good opportunity to make a video about why it's important to keep commitments you make to yourself. And I'll also say why it's important to continue to aim to keep commitments to yourself, even if you're falling short currently. You should always aim to be a person, a man, that can keep his word, that does what he says he's going to do. Now, why is this? Well, really the main reason is that you want to build trust with yourself. I mean, you are the only person that's going to be with you for the whole duration of however long you're on this planet for, however long you were given this existence. And if you spend it pretty much never fulfilling anything you say you're going to do. So if you speak a bunch of empty words, but they're never fulfilled, you will feel very, very unfulfilled, and it's a very quick way to just lead a nowhere life. Because when you don't have trust with yourself, usually the people that don't have trust with themselves are also the people that are fat, that are out of shape, that are the fattest, that are the laziest, because they're constantly fighting themselves. So you're seeing a physical representation of what's going on mentally inside, which is just chaos. I mean, really, when you don't trust yourself, when you can't have your own back, it is chaos, because there's no structure there. There's nothing in place to say this is what's going to get done the same every day, and because of that, you don't get any reliable or consistent results or anything. You don't even get a consistent energy flow, right? When you are going against everything you say. Because really, I mean, we can break it down to you can go against everything you say in micro decisions and in major decisions. Like, you can say you're going to quit your job, you don't end up doing it because obviously you want security. Like, I would say that's a very common thing, and that's a much more major decision. But when we talk about micro decisions, like, I'm going to choose to eat this piece of cheesecake or I'm not. How many people choose to eat the cheesecake? How many people choose not to? Well, more people choose to eat the cheesecake if we judge by people's appearances and overall obesity levels in the world today. A lot of people choose the cheesecake, and more so to the fact, a lot of people choose the cheesecake and also choose no exercise and also choose just binging social media. Like, they don't just choose the cheesecake. If they just chose the cheesecake but they also exercise fairly often, and it's not like they were choosing the cheesecake every day, they'd probably you can still be healthy doing that. I mean, I still eat cheesecake, I still have abs. It's just about like trusting yourself to say, I'm going to have a cheesecake one day a week, not I'm going to have it whenever I feel like it, because I don't trust myself. So it's whenever this little monkey brain impulse kicks in, I won't have any of my there's this book that I've read, I don't know if any of you guys have read it. It's called I don't know, I'm probably getting the order of the names mixed up, but it's Warrior, King, Magician, Lover, or Magician, Lover, King, Warrior, whatever. It is a kind of like a book that talks about the different psyches, at least in masculine psychology. You've got the king, you've got the warrior, you've got the lover, and you've got the magician. So the king is like the kingly energy, the kind of energy in your subconscious that orders everything, that brings everything together. that rules over things, that has like the final decision, the one that orders all the other energies and keeps them kind of in line, I guess you would say, or yeah, is the ultimate decision maker. And the king is the good part of it, and then you've got the tyrant king, which is shadow. And then you've got obviously the other three ones, which is magician, warrior, lover. I mean, I won't go into too much detail, I just read the book, but in that book, a lot of it talks about how having these different energies in their good forms, not their shadow forms. You don't want to be the shadow self. When we say shadow self, I think more we're talking about the dark side of you. And trust me, you guys are probably hearing this and you're like, well, Michael, is this a weight loss channel? Like, what is this? Well, yes, primarily I am looking to help people transform their bodies, but I'm really also looking to help people transform their mindsets and change their lives. Because what I want you to get out of this, ultimately, if you sign up with me, is that you don't just get a body transformation out of this, you get a change in life, a change in outlook. Maybe it ends up with you changing your job, or quitting your job and doing something else, or moving to a different country, or whatever. You discover a lot about yourself when you lose weight. People don't realize this because it requires a certain level of discipline, which, at least for me and many other people, this is why sometimes you'll see people get quite spiritual when they get deep in the cuts, because it does, people always say fasting brings you closer to God, but when you're intentionally going into a caloric deficit, especially to get down to the lower 10%, when you're fairly low on food, or either fairly low on food plus fairly high on exercise and output, it does put you into that altered state where you're just thinking of things in a different way. Like, your brain is really switched on because you're not numbing it with anything else. Like, you're not constantly shoveling food in your face, so you're not feeling bloated all the time, and you can actually think. Your stomach's not full with blood. It's not taking that away from your brain and putting it more to your stomach. And I don't know if that's scientific or not, but I have heard something happens like that when you eat. More blood rushes to your stomach or whatever, so that's why you tend to just kind of go in a kind of a coma, a food coma as they call it. But either way, people do get spiritual because, as you go less and less in food, you kind of need to become spiritual in a sense too, to get through some parts of the cut when you get lower, but it's more just that it's really, really important that, at least for you as a person, to keep your word to yourself, because a lot of people will tell you that you don't find it, at least, especially if you're on a transformation. Let's say you're losing weight, right? Let's say you're a person that's watching this right now and you're already on your journey, and maybe you're at 15%, maybe you've lost a lot of weight from when you first started, and you get but maybe you have the goal of, no, I want to see my abs, and you're not quite there yet. You're at 15%, so you're close. You're getting close to that visible ab separation and seeing them, but you need to pull down to about 12, 13% if you got a decent amount of muscle too, but let's realistically say 12 to 11, anywhere around those low double-digit numbers. They're going to tell you, oh, you already look fine, why do you need to do that, But if you've given your word to yourself, or you've said to yourself, this is the goal I want to achieve, you need to do it for you, essentially, because if you choose to say, no, you know what, I'm going to listen to this other person, they reckon I'm good, so yeah, you know what, I'm good, and then you're going to have regret, 100%. Give it a week after you make that decision, you'll end up binging. You'll probably end up getting in worse shape than the 15%. You'll end up dropping that too, because you're not in alignment with yourself. You've let someone else stop that. And the minute you let that happen, the minute you aren't truly keeping your words to yourself, and you're letting either circumstance or something else not help you to keep your word, the minute you let something in your life happen and that stops you from keeping your word, that's when you start to lose trust in yourself. And that's not to say that if you do it, we all have times where we slip up. I still do, Recently I've had times where I've slipped up. It's kind of why I'm making this video too, because, like I said before, I almost didn't film the YouTube video today. But I have a thing for these next 30 days especially, but realistically for the whole time this channel's going, I have had the word, I've kept this word to myself that I'm going to be posting daily. Now, if I have a day where I miss, does that mean I stop posting? No, I continue the daily posting. Because as long as I'm keeping up the daily posting, I'm still keeping the commitment that I'll post daily. My commitment wasn't that every single day that I have a YouTube channel I will post. It's that I will make a commitment to post daily. There might be something that happens where I literally cannot post on a day. That's fine. Like I said, I just continue posting the next day. It's not about being perfect and never slipping up and dropping it like a promise you kept to yourself, but it's about being the kind of dude that makes a commitment that you will always live a lifestyle where you keep your word, where you keep your promises. And when you actively live like that, chances are that more often than not, you're going to be the type of person that keeps the promises. Right? If you just set that standard, eventually more and more you will follow it closer and closer to a T, until eventually through repetition it just becomes part of who you are. This is how identity shifts happen, and all of that stuff. But really, I think, especially as a dude, it's really important that you keep your word to yourself. Do what you say you're gonna do. Just do what you say you're gonna do. And if you have a day where you don't do it, don't let it become too. Don't just fucking drop it. You say, okay, get right back on the horse. The problem is people stop it. They do it and then they go, oh, well, I've had the one day. Oh, well, I might as well just quit. Well, why? Well, that doesn't make any sense now, does it? Because then you'll never get to the point where you're consistently not doing it. Like, you have to accept that you're human. And still, if you're, let's say, for a month, 29 days, you're on point, and one day you let slip. Dude, that's fine. Maybe you started off at, 20 days, maybe you started off at, say, 12 days you did good, and 18 days you let slip. If you eventually get to the point where 27 or 29 days you're doing good, one day you let slip, it's a massive improvement, okay? So, yeah, I think I'm going to cap the video there, because I do want to have a shower. It's quite late, and I still want to post this video today, technically, so I'll have to end it pretty much now. Getting close to 12 a.m. here, so, but yeah, guys, keep your word to yourself. If you're a dude, it's a very important quality to have, and it will just make your life easier too. Because when you keep your word to yourself, you're essentially living in alignment with yourself, especially the best version of yourself. Because usually when you say no to yourself, you're saying no to that good version of you. That's the first voice that cropped up that said to do something positive. And you say, no, it'll be too hard, it'll be too difficult, it'll make me feel uncomfortable. Just do the thing. Especially if you've said you're already going to do it, and then it comes to crunch time and you're like, oh, but it's new, just do it. Follow through. And the more and more you do that, the more trust you build in yourself, and this is one of the keys to keeping weight loss sustainable. Because weight loss, fat loss, let me say. I'm going to really try hard to refer to it as fat loss now. Fat loss really requires you to be disciplined and stay on track. So, when you're on this kind of journey, you need to have that mindset that you're keeping your word. Okay, I've kept my word, I'm going to do this diet plan for this certain amount of time, I'm going to do it. Because if you slip up, it's actually going to affect your actual physique, right? And in the same way, if you let something else slip up, either financially or a commitment in your relationship, it's going to enforce that you're not the type of person that has good relationships, or you're not the type of person that has good fit. Like, you're going to have a negative self-image, which is just going to make losing weight and getting on that path so much harder. To really make weight loss a lot easier, you just want to get used to being in the practice of doing what you said you're going to do. And a good way to start this is to give yourself 3 things that are very small, very easy. It might be 5,000 steps, 2 liters of water, and getting at least between 6 to 8 hours of sleep a night. But if you can nail that consistently for 2 weeks, what are you building? Building confidence, and that's going to enable you to then progress and upgrade your standards. It's the only way standards ever raise. It's the only way that you ever progress, is that you have to go through this constant process of adjusting your standards. But that your standards will only raise to the level that you want them to if you're in true alignment with yourself. You know, your standards will drop if what you're doing is in alignment with you. But if you're in true alignment with yourself and what you want to do, your standards will raise to the level that you want to raise them to. And it'll feel effortless too, because it's just a byproduct of you staying consistent, really. It just makes everything a lot easier. So yeah, keep your word. I'm going to end the video there. And until the next time, guys, have an awesome one. And I'll see you later. Peace.